anyone who starts to talk about Australian film, Picnic is going to come up very quickly because it's a memorable film. The image of those young virgins in white walking towards this immense, brutal rock, it's profound. And if Weir didn't settle it or explain it or even go as far as he might have done, I don't think it matters. He saw the image. It's a combination of fineness and tenderness with quite terrible things. There had been a very lively period after the war, and films like The Overlanders and Eureka Stockade, which were Australian historical subjects and anti-colonialism subjects, been very popular. But in my mind, because I was living in England at that time, Walkabout seemed to me like the first Australian film. I think, in fact, it was very much a European attitude to Australia rather than Australian. But you know, it was a film that presented the desert, really, and the sort of really exotic nature of the landscape, and the Aboriginal character, obviously, which I cannot remember being seen in a film before then. And Rogue, I think, got at something, and I don't know whether that provoked or inspired Australians, but the rest of the English-speaking world, the empire, if you know what I mean, has the feeling that Australia does not have an inner life. And Weir comes along, and I don't know how far he rationalized this, how far he was conscious of it. He's all about the inner life. And I think you realize it in Picnic. He can see it, show it to you. He's one of the great dream directors. I mean, there's the close-up of the girl with the superimposition of the birds flying. The moment where she steps across the stream, there is a slowing of the motion. I think it's also an intensely beautiful, meditative film. I think of those early Australian films as being very action-oriented. Actually, not a lot happens in this film. It's people wondering what has happened. And in that sense, I think it was introducing a new sensibility. In certain ways, it felt like a French film, but it was coming out of Australia. So I think there was a serious and totally respectable feeling. If there had been new waves throughout the world, and there had been at that time, why not an Australian wave? You know, why not something like that can help? And indeed there was, and for about, I suppose, 10 years. Australia became a very, very lively place of filmmaking. Is it a horror film? Is it a social study about a certain kind of school and a sort of bourgeois attitude in Australia? Are we going to get into the world these girls have come from? Or could it be a sort of sexual rapture? Is it about these girls escaping the school and escaping their clothes and letting their hair down and having a lot of sex, you know? All of those things, it seems to me, are there, latent in the film. And the curiosity about it and the lasting hold it has is that it refuses to settle them. And I've known people quite frustrated by the film, almost talking back to it, you know, like, well, come on, do it. And it never quite does it. But it's that sort of holding back, I think, that is most intriguing about the picture. Why do they send the girls to Hanging Rock? They say it's full of insects, it's full of snakes, it's a very dangerous place, it's clearly hot and uncomfortable. Why a picnic at Hanging Rock? Everything that has to do with the culture of talking about a film all assumes that films are meant to be explained and that they are almost well, they are fit subjects for academia. I think a lot of filmmakers don't know how to join in that conversation because the films have come out of feeling, out of a sort of being there. Weir was just thunderstruck by the richness, but the frightening qualities in Australia too. But my view of Weir, and I have met him and talked to him a bit, is that he's much better at conceiving and dramatizing these mysteries than sitting down afterwards and explaining them. And I think he would even say, they wouldn't hold me and move me as much, the mysteries, if I could explain them, you know. And it reminds me of something Nicholas Ray once said, which was that people often complain that a film turned out badly because it was all in the script. Vital, key elements of any film should come from the response of the director to what he sees. And that's not necessarily an intellectual process that can be talked about. There are strange, mysterious things and visions in that film that you can't explain, and I don't think he ever intends to. I wouldn't call it a repression in him, but a restraint, because here is a major filmmaker, question about that, and he really, give or take a few moments here or there, he does deal in sex and violence. How can this be? Because he's internalized them, because they are mysterious things for him, and I think it's absolutely natural to the way he sees the world. That shot, the four girls pulling on corsets, incredible diagonal frame, which at the same time is very erotic, but it's all about repression, pulling in, reining in. That's what Weir does so wonderfully. This quality of the sort of affection between the girls and what that could lead to. That's absolutely characteristic of the film's restraint and reticence. Another thing culturally vital to it is that by 1975, in the world, the Virgin was a creature of the past. No young woman, really, would have let the word get out that she was a virgin. And everybody regarded sexual experience as essential and automatic. But for parents of young girls, I think virginity still means the same. It still is a very disturbing, threatening idea. And Picnic gets at that, you know, in a profound way. The fact is, Weir has gone on to make masterpieces. So we look back on the career with awe and respect, and therefore Picnic at Hanging Rock falls into place as, I didn't understand it, I don't really understand it, but it's a great man coming forward.